Hello, greetings everyone in the world, wherever you are. Hello and welcome to Health Practitioner Business Success. This is where we have some talented people on the show who have great things to share, some tips and advice and insights into how to run a successful business, particularly health practitioners. That's what this show is about. So I'm going to welcome in today Helen Breward. Helen, come on in. How are you?
Morning. How are you?
I'm good. Lovely. My evening actually at the moment. I forgot to tell the viewers that. Yeah, I'm in the sunny coast here in Australia. It's about 6:30 in the evening, and Helen is over in the UK. Good old Helen is
8 in the morning.
8:30 in the morning.
It's one of those duvet days. It's sort of really grey outside, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any lighter.
No, and this is not early for you because I know you're an early bird. I know you like to get up pretty early in the morning, so this 8:30 is not too early for you, right?
No, I'm usually up by about 6.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow, Helen, tell us, introduce yourself. Tell people we know where you are, but you're in Swindon in the UK. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, I'm a former primary school teacher, and that's how I got into hypnosis, was to help me deal with stress. And as most of you know, if you're hypnotherapists, that's kind of how a lot of people sort of get into hypnosis, isn't it? It's because you have it yourself and you think, yeah, this is fantastic.
Yes, that's right.
I work a lot with menopause. I help ladies with their menopause relief. And that was because I ended up having a hysterectomy myself, and I thought, oh, I'm not dealing with that. Being a hypnotist, I could do something about that one.
Sure,
so I wrote a program to help ladies control their hot flushes.
Mm-hmm.
And I now talk at conferences about that work. I train other therapists to use the work that I developed myself, and I use it in, myself with my clients too. So it's pretty big. I wrote a book earlier on this year. I published a self-help book which complements the work that I do with the clients in my clinic.
Mm-hmm.
What else do? I do lots of weight loss. I use the virtual gastric band for weight loss and stress and anxiety. I see a lot of that actually.
Sure.
Seems to be last year was particularly bad, if you like, for stress in England. Well, in my clinic anyway. I can only talk about my clinic really. Sure. I saw a massive increase in stress and anxiety cases last year. It doesn't seem to be quite so much this year, but last year was quite dramatic.
Not yet, but Christmas is on its way, and Christmas is traditionally one of those times where it's high expectations and a lot of stress, right?
Yeah, and you have to spend 2 weeks with your nearest and dearest, don't you?
Yes. See all the people that you kind of avoid all year. Oh, I shouldn't say that, should I?
Phone calls with that. Oh my God, I can't stand this anymore.
What did she just say then? Hey, when did it all start for you, Helen? When did you first train in hypnotherapy?
Back in 2011. It was. I have to be honest. If you've read my book, then and the introduction, you'll probably know this anyway. But that year when I did my hypnosis training was an absolute, for want of a better phrase, it was a crap year. I can use stronger words, but that's the most polite one I can use on TV. My mum was diagnosed with terminal cancer, which was absolutely awful. It was really difficult. It was a difficult year. My daughter, and this was the best bit, it was kind of like we had both sides, we had both ends of the scale in one year, and it was awful. We had mum on one hand, but then we had my daughter who was expecting her first baby as well. So it was very much a huge roller coaster for me. One minute it'd be really low down, next minute it would be, yay, I'm going to be a grandma, how fantastic. after we lost my mum, it wasn't long after I lost my mum that I became ill, and the end result of that was I needed a hysterectomy, but I was in a lot of pain for a long time before we actually got to that operation to relieve the pain and everything else. So it was a very tough year. But I know, hand on heart, the only reason I got through it the way that I did get through it, with my sanity intact, was because of the hypnosis. I fully believe that. That was the only reason I got through it in the way that I did, was because I did the hypnosis.
Great stuff. Yeah, sometimes, and it is a lovely distraction, I've got to say, doing hypnotherapy, and it is one of those things where it doesn't feel effortful, and like when you're going through a lot of stuff, the last thing you want is another stressor to deal with, and it sounds like it kind of helped to bridge that gap for you.
It did. It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of extra work that, when I look back now, I think, my God, love, how did you manage to do all that at the same time with everything else you were doing? Because I was also teaching as well. I was still a school teacher at that time, so I was juggling an awful lot of balls. And it's those times that you do, don't you? You look back and you think, how on earth did I manage to do all of that? But at the time, you just do, don't you? If it's something that you really wanted to do, you just do.
Correct. And that's a good lesson for anyone starting a business right now, is that there's never going to be a good time, really, to start anything. And sometimes you've just got to jump in with both feet and suck it and see. And
so some of the things that I do in my practice to keep myself focused, I suppose, I have a partner that I talk to a lot. That helps me to keep focus. But I also have a diary, and everything that I need to do gets put in my diary. And I have a whole colour system. It looks like a kid's colouring book. When I look at it now, I think, oh, that's lovely colours in there. But I have, I think it's about 3 or 4 different colours that I have for different things. So I have green for clients. So I highlight the times that I'm going to work with clients. And I have yellow for personal stuff, pink for meetings, when I've got meetings with other people. And I have orange for my to-do list. So my diary is very colourful. That for me is mainly because I'm very visual, and colour actually draws my attention so much more than if I just wrote it down. If I just write it down in pencil, then I miss most of the stuff. It won't get done. Whereas if I write it in pencil and then highlight it in a colour, I go, oh, I've got to do that today. So I get on with it. So
being organised for you is an important part of fitting everything in, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's exactly what I was just going to say. Is I try to organise my diary as much as possible.
Sure.
Now, I don't manage it 100% of the time, but I manage it a good 80% of the time. So there are times when I completely forget, but I also notice those times that I've forgotten to do that in my diary. Those are the times that I'm least productive. So I need to make sure the week before, at the end of the week. So tomorrow, I'll be going through my diary for the next week and probably the week after, and highlighting what it is and putting in what it is that I need to do and get done, and focus on that week to make sure that I get it done. We have a standing joke in the family: if it's not in Mum's diary, you don't get it done. Even babysitting goes into my diary.
Awesome.
So it is about, a lot of it is about discipline, and staying focused and not allowing yourself to get distracted by other people's stuff, because it's very easy to get, oh, well, she's doing so and so, he's doing this, she's doing that.
Sure.
Oh, and you have to remember that your journey is not the same as everybody else's journey. So if you're working in an area where there are other people in your physical locality doing the same thing or the same type of job. Like me, for instance, with other hypnotherapists, there are many other hypnotherapists in this area, but their journey is not the same as mine. They are not, their goals aren't the same as mine.
Sure.
So it's part of it is remembering what your specific goals are, because you always need to know what your outcome is going to be, where you want to be, because otherwise it's a bit like wandering around. I always use this analogy with my clients, especially my weight clients. I would say to them, where do you want to be? What's your goal? Because when we know where your goal is, it's easy to get there. And it's a bit like wandering around in a field saying, well, I want to get out the other side, but I'm not entirely sure where the other side is. And you wander around and round and round in circles. So at the beginning of the year, I always think it's a good idea, or the end of the year, to make a plan for that year. What is it you want to achieve business-wise and personally in that year? And I kind of do a like a vision board thing, and I get lots of pictures of what it is that I want to achieve and what it is that I want to do, and put a little bit of writing in. But as I said, I'm very visual, so I play to my own strengths, and I'm sure everybody knows how they learn best and adapts things for themselves.